New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Good afternoon and welcome to Global Focus. Today I am Reverend Sharri Johnson and I am your host, and I am absolutely delighted to introduce our guest for today. He is Reverend Dr. John Karn, and wait till you hear about him. He is a licensed and ordained minister since 2015 with a doctorate in divinity and a doctorate in religious studies. He's a certified hospice chaplain and a religious science practitioner as well. He's an animal chaplain and serves a large rescue group as foster family. He is on the faculty of Emerson Theological Institute. I'm so jealous. I want that job. For online and in-person classes since 2014. He's been serving, this is why I got him. He's been serving the homeless since 2017 with hot meals and clothing. He's on the Emerson Theological Institute's board, and he is also the administrator of the affiliated New Thought Network. Please welcome Reverend Dr. John Karn.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's lovely.
I'm so happy to have you with us today. Oh, and I should mention, we are normally in two different places, but today we are both right here live in front of the camera at the Anton annual conference. So we're in Unity Village, Missouri, and it's beautiful here. And I hope that the weather is nice where you are too. But what I want to know is, how did you get started? What brought you into ministry in the first place?
Oh, goodness, Sherry, that was a long, long journey. I have been attending Unity churches probably since my 30s. And that was after some spiritual exploration and learning about all these different teachings that were out there that were not, were the opposite of evangelism. They were about love, the oneness teachings. And then when I got into my 40s, I was in a counselor's office, and she gave me Louise Hay's book on You Can Heal Your Life.
Hello.
And I took that book home and I read it, and I knew I was reading truth. There was no question to me what this was about and who it was from. And I wanted to live my life the way I imagined she lived hers. And so I researched everything she ever did, every speech that was recorded by her. I researched, where did she learn this? And it was a religious science church in New York. And then I researched, where are those near me? And I found one about 2 hours away. And so I started driving back and forth on Tuesday nights, taking these classes. And after 4.5 years or so, I was a practitioner. And then following that, I did the study to become a minister.
And did you always know that you were going to be an alternative ministry that was outside of the brick and mortar pulpit kind of thing?
I think in a sense I did know. I wanted to teach in the beginning, and I still do teach. I figured I had been through so many challenges over the years that there was nothing anyone could say to me that I probably hadn't experienced myself. And so I wanted to be able to help others by having been in that space myself in the past.
So basically your life up to then was on the job training.
Yes, it was.
Well, what's the biggest challenge that you face in dealing with those what do I want to say, diversity of issues that you have in front of you in your position as the administrator of Anton?
The administrator is interesting. When I get to talk one-on-one with ministers all over the country, that's when I have those conversations that are very uplifting, or I might help somebody with a problem they're having. And in that moment, that feels like, the holy instant, and A Course in Miracles or holy moment. And that's where that comes through. As the administrator, my job is to chase all the flying feathers, as they say, and put them together and have it make sense.
Okay, and what's the biggest challenge you have with that?
Right now, it's been learning new technology.
Huh.
It really has. There's times I've wanted to walk away because of the new technology. And I've thought about it, and I've thought, I don't want to miss out on the new technology. I don't want to be left behind. So I have stuck with it, and I'm constantly learning something new.
Okay, and so tell us about your ministry for the homeless.
Well, it's very special to me. We had a homeless ministry at the church I was serving at, and I was always glad to know they did that, but I had never actually participated. And I would see homeless people outside sleeping on the sidewalk all around the building. And I eventually started coming in the evenings for that and washing dishes and sweeping the floors and throwing out the garbage because I worked till 5. And so once I started doing that, I slowly worked my way back into the kitchen and back into working with the people that were there. But I had to change my 9-to-5 job to part-time to give myself a few days open to do that. And then, in time I started getting there by 10 in the morning, and then the deliveries of food were arriving, and we were figuring out what we were going to prepare that night, and, getting everything going in the ovens and getting the rooms ready where we were going to feed people.
Well, it sounds to me like you must have had an awful lot of not assistance, but teamwork involved,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of diverse people working together in order to accomplish that goal.
That's right, and outside agencies as well.
And so those might be some contexts that would come in handy later.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you balance the Anton stuff and the homeless stuff and the Reverend Dr. John stuff?
Well, the Anton stuff is not always heart-centered. Sometimes it's analytic. And the homeless stuff is 100% heart-centered. So I enjoy that the whole time I'm there. I get to love people at Anton, but there are also times that it's all administrative work. So it's a different type of energy that you're putting into each area.
So what would you say is the split for you in time, in terms of time?
Mm-hmm.
Is your ministry, 1/3 Anton and 2/3 homeless, or how would you describe that?
It's probably 2/3 Anton and 1/3 homeless right now.
And that third is what makes the rest of it work for you.
Yes, I've created more space around doing the homeless ministry and doing the Anton ministry. I've just shifted my life some to open up space because I figured I had to create the room for the manifestation to occur.
Well, that's good to know. Tell us some more about how you did that.
Well, I focused on it. I was rushing. I was always trying to work for my benefits. retirement, financial security. And I just realized that I had to back it up. There's no place for this ministry to come in. When you're doing your spiritual work, you're saying, bring me ministry, and you don't have a place for it to arrive. So I created space in my schedule and how I live for everything to fall into place.
And how did you find the people to help you do that? Because I don't think you're doing this single person.
No. One of the guys who's here with us this week is Richard Schutzenhofer, and he was the original person leading the ministry. And then he gave it to me to take over at a certain point because he didn't want to be in charge of a team of volunteers and coordinating with the companies that bring us food, and being the chef, and then being there the whole time and dealing with people's needs and clothing and whatnot. So he and I just swapped positions with that, and I took over, and I just created, like I would tell my employer that I'm going to work 2 days a week or 3 days a week, depending, and they're happy with that.
So you have a really flexible, how do I say this, real job?
Yeah.
And then the real calling part of your life is built around that.
Right.
That's excellent. And what kind of, now I have heard a term used with respect to you here this week that you didn't use just now. And so I'm kind of wondering how it fits in, and that's voluntold.
Oh, I don't think I was ever voluntold to do anything with the homeless.
I was just wondering if you ever volunteer people.
Oh, no. No, I really don't. I have good people that want to volunteer, that love being with the homeless. So that's not a problem. I would rather have them than someone that's maybe doing it with a little grudge, or they think, they don't deserve how nice you're being to them. I've heard that. You spoil them. I've heard that. And I'm like, how do you spoil someone that's homeless, And I refuse to let them wear used underwear or used socks. Richard and I would both go out and buy new underwear, new socks, new t-shirts. I want to uplift them. I don't want them to feel like they're so low, this is the best they can get.
So what you're really doing is creating a home for them. It's not a building, but it's still a home.
Yeah.
And how do you go about finding those volunteers and organizations to donate the clothing and the food that you need and the time?
Yeah, they pretty much find us, but we will put out a notice on Facebook if we're short of something, like I need long pants, men's long pants, or I need size 12 through 15 men's shoes or women's bras or whatever. I can put that out and people get it to me.
So if somebody seeing this wants to be able to support this ministry, how would they go about doing that? How would they reach you? What would they do?
Right now through my Facebook page, which is John Karn, Karn, Rev John Karn, and I am creating a new group page for the ministry, and it's called Holy Encounter or Holy Moment from A Course in Miracles.
Very good. Excellent. And if you had a wish list, and we've just been told that God has a one-word vocabulary, and the word is yes. And so, what would you ask right now? What's the greatest gift you could receive right now this minute?
Maybe a new place, a new space to do this ministry. Right now I am traveling to shelters in the area of town where I've been serving, because that church is closing. And so I've been going into shelters and hotels that house the homeless and feeding around 500 people at a time. And so I'm hoping to collaborate with another church in the area or a community center where I can do this. Or as it is right now, we're preparing everything at my house and taking it out to them.
So you have people who come to your house and help you cook and gather up the food and carry it to wherever it needs to go and then serve it.
Mm-hmm. My mouth is dry, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, and I have, before that, I have delivery of food.
to your house to be
Mhm.
cooked.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, and we didn't even mention all the clothing things that would need to be distributed too. So,
Right. And
do you do that at the same time, or do you have a separate visit for food and a separate visit for clothing?
No, we do it all at one time. As they come in, they're likely wearing clothes I gave to them a week ago. And quite often the clothes just need to be washed. You know, if there's no holes in them, I'll take the clothes home and let them get a new outfit, and then I'll wash their clothes at my house, and then I bring them back and give them to them so that we're not just throwing them away.
What was that line from the New Testament? Feed my children, clothe my children, love my children. Sounds to me like you've pretty much got that lined up. I'm just in awe. You don't look frazzled.
No.
You don't look like you're juggling a chainsaw or bowling ball in a raw egg. You look perfectly calm and at peace.
I am.
And you've just described accomplishing on a regular basis a Herculean task.
That's funny. I don't think of it that way. The only thing I think of is how I can uplift them. That's all I think of. I listen to their stories. I generally know when their birthdays are. We always get them a cupcake that's, ornately done from Whole Foods. I know if they have a job, do they have to wear black shoes? Do they work in the kitchen somewhere? One of our women basically is a sex worker, and she's probably around 35. I know what her style of clothing is, so I can help her. Her clothing is different from other people's clothing. And so something comes in, I'm like, oh, I found this for you. You have to check it out. And she brings people with her so that we will help them as well.
All right, I'm not going to cry, but what you're saying is that you don't serve the homeless. You serve a very large number of individual people that you know as people.
Yes.
And you treat them as you, honest to goodness, namaste these people.
Mm-hmm.
I am just so impressed.
Oh, thank you. That's funny. That's sometimes the piece. I've collaborated with others, and that's the piece where people have disagreed with me. They should be happy to get this. Beggars can't be choosers. I disagree. And I will flat go out afterwards. If someone didn't show up, I will go find them. I know where they hang out. Or I will send a message through one of my homeless people to go get so-and-so, and because I need to know he's okay. So either they go out and tell them, and they come to me and say, you wanted to see me, Rev?
So what I'm hearing you say is not just beggars can't be choosers is wrong, but that choosers can't be beggars.
Yeah.
You're shifting their consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
You're shifting their self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
Yeah, I think this is what we do in our teaching, our spiritual teaching. If I'm working with someone as a practitioner or as a counselor, someone needs us to know the truth for them. And we uplift that truth and we hold it for 30 days. We say a spiritual treatment for them every day for 30 days. And we expect through the one mind that they are going to tune in at some point, and they're going to be able to hold themselves up here. But when we're working with someone homeless, I'm seeing the God in them. And I want them to know I see God in them. They may ask me, I actually had someone say to me, why do you treat me so well? And I said, it's because I used his language, you're God's perfect child. I only see God and perfection in you. And so that's really what my mission is to uplift them. I don't think they can get out of being homeless unless they get a better idea of themselves, a better self-image.
I'm so proud that I know you.
Well, thanks. I think it's kind of funny. It's just, it's something that I do kind of by myself with a few volunteers. And most people who do it want to hit them with dogma, or they, wear gloves and toss the food at them, and that's all they're going to get is that item of food. I find out what they like, and then I'm able to work with that.
Wow. I am not very often speechless, but wow.
Well, thank you. It's just that's just normal for me. That's where my life is.
Okay. So would you tell us again how people can reach you to help support this ministry?
Right now through Facebook, John Karn, Karn, it's Reverend John Karn. I'm creating a Holy Moment ministry page, homeless ministry. And that's from A Course in Miracles. And that is going up as we speak. And then Rev John Karn, REVJOHN KARN @gmail.com.
So tell us what's the most wonderful thing that's happened to you in your ministry in the last month.
Last month. I would say in the last 2 months, getting permission to go into a shelter where there's at least 250 people. And they told me more likely twice that amount, but that's the amount of rooms they have. And they have one woman living in there with 6 kids. And so just knowing, okay, the lady with the kids, they need back to school stuff. She can use this bag of 70 bagels, that Panera Bread dropped on me. Just having an idea of what their needs may be and getting it to them.
So the greatest thing that's happened is that you got another opportunity to serve that was bigger than the one you had before.
Yes,
Now I'm
absolutely.
really impressed.
I don't know why.
Well, I guess I'm impressed because I know so many people who do work with the homeless. I have encountered so many people who do work with the homeless, and they have othered the homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no other in you.
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever seen an other in your whole life.
Right.
And that's beautiful. I mean, stunning.
Well, it feeds all of us that do it. And we do it like Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving. We do special meals for them. And all my little group of volunteers always comes together. And so we might miss a family thing on Christmas Day, but we are with people we love dearly. And it's a big love fest.
Oh, and you know what? Blood makes relatives, love makes family. And it sounds to me like you've got one hell of a big family.
Yeah, we do.
So, what have I not asked you that you would like us to know?
I think about the animal chaplain.
Oh,
The foster
yes, my
work
goodness. I
do.
was so overwhelmed with the homeless people. Tell us about the foster work. You said you were fostered to a large group.
Yeah.
I have 1 dog and 1 cat, and I'm overwhelmed.
No, I'm, so the community is the largest dog rescue group in the country, and it's out of Atlanta. So we can have 700 or 800 dogs in foster care at any one time, and as well as cats and birds or whatever. But what I'm doing with my new Facebook page that's going up with the homeless ministry is I'm putting homeless people and I'm adding homeless animals with it. So that's why I'm redoing that page. I want to be able to advertise them as well as advertise what's going on with the people.
Oh, that's wonderful. So how can people, what can people do to help you with the animal rescue part of your ministry?
Well, that is, they would have to be local or, I'm not at all above moving an animal to different parts of the country. We even have volunteer small plane pilots that will help.
Wow.
But generally, I think of the animal rescue as local. And we're going to screen the hell out of them, so to speak, so that the animal goes to a really good home. But just sharing the information, if they find it on Facebook, sharing it so that it eventually ends up in the right hands.
Oh, that's great. And is there, okay, I'm tax challenged. Is there a way people can contribute financially to help with either of these programs or both of these programs? And if so, how?
Okay. They can go to PayPal and use the revjohnkarn@gmail.com address and send it that way. I would recommend they message me through Facebook first on Messenger, just so that we're watching for it and we can confirm with them that we received it. I am looking at getting a van to drive around because I'm not 100% sure we're going to be in a building, so to speak, or a space. And I'm thinking I might have to buy a van that's on the 501c3 side. Because I'm also somewhat mobile. I am in the back alleys and I know people under the bridges. So there are times I'm going into these places and delivering food or checking on someone who's sick or maybe taking them to emergency room. So that's something that's coming.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I am rarely speechless, but I'm just overcome. The level of love and compassion and just being you. What you do is ministry, but you don't go out to be a minister. You go out to John.
Mm-hmm.
You just are the best John you know how to be. And you make such a tremendous difference in the world. In my life right now, this minute, wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
I'm so grateful that you came to be with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. And thank you for being with us. We hope you'll come again next week and see a whole nother kind of focus ministry. And thank you for being supporters of New Thought Media Network. Thank you for being supporters of Anton, affiliated New Thought Network. And thank you for being right here, right now. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network, come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.
Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing.